we own the facts. We own the facts. We know exactly what the Chinese Communist Party is doing, and to some degree what the Russian Federation is doing and their propaganda operations, but we don't own the narrative.
Why would a top U.S. general, General Michael Langley, commander of U.S. Africa Command, say China and Russia should leave Africa when China's been there for over 35 years, building roads, hospitals, airports, and not starting wars or messing with elections? So what is he talking really? Is this about security or about power?
Thank you. General Langley, can you talk about why we care about what's happening in Africa right now? I mean, if you tell the American taxpayer, why are we there? Why are we spending the money we're spending there?
Thanks for the question, Senator. For access and influence. I'd say that a number of countries are at the tipping point of actually being captured by the Russian Federation, as they are spreading some of their false narratives across Libya. And from a strategic answer piece, access influence across the whole Maghreb, that is NATO's southern flank. We need to be able to maintain access and influence across the Maghreb, from Morocco all the way to Libya. The PRC and Russia are also remaining exploitative where possible and coercive when necessary. They want that ground. They want power projection capabilities. So for the most part, the rest of the continent is also for mining concessions, whether it be gold or rare earth minerals. Both of them have a long-range plan. But I think at the accelerated pace, the Russian Federation is really trying to take over Central Africa as well as the Sahel. So, Senator, right now, China has a plan, a long-range plan, but they're coming in with their Belt and Road initiatives. But I think they do have global aspirations for a security construct to get a decisive advantage over the United States. We need activities and investments to deter that, especially engaging with our partners, our African partners, and telling them to ensure that they're not militarized. So this takes information campaign that's successful, but also assurance actions of building partnership capacity where they won't need China in their false offerings of security construct.
Thank you. When the U.S. Marine Corps General was called for a testimony to the U.S. Senate, nobody knew he was not trained to hide sensitive information. In his testimony, he revealed everything the U.S. has planned for Africa. He said that Russian and China's influence in Africa is increasing, and so, to prevent that, the U.S. will invest more in establishing military bases. Even though Russia and China are better alternatives for African countries because they offer mutual benefits, the general revealed that the U.S. needs to make African countries threatened by them. It's because only then will African countries allow the U.S. to keep the military bases and establish more without any scrutiny.
All right, guys, you all have heard. This is the reason why the American military bases are scattered all over the African continent. It is not for our own protection. It is for influence. It is for them to secure all our minerals to themselves. So right now, there is serious panic in the West since Russia is in Africa right now. You know, the Scramble for Africa remix is about to happen. Now that Russia is here, there is serious panic in the West. Now they are looking for means to get in even more, to secure us even more. They are talking of Libya again. They are talking of Morocco and other African countries. My dear brothers and sisters, we should wake up. The time is now. To be very honest, the time is now. These people cannot continue to station their military here and milk us dry without helping us in any way. This is one of the points Mr. Julius Malema keeps shouting day in, day out. We don't need the American military. We don't need the French military on African soil because they are not here to help us. They are here to milk us dry. Please, I'm begging you all, rally behind our young leaders. Rally behind some of our leaders who means well for us. Don't let the Western media corrupt our minds anymore. Let them not use their propaganda again against us. All those things, when any good leader is coming up, they'll use our own people, manipulate them, just because they don't want to take responsibility of the atrocities they are committing in Africa. Please let us wake up. The time is now. It is good that you all are hearing it from their own mouths. so that we should understand when some people are saying we don't need the military, we need to know that these are people who have seen it and understands why those things are here in Africa. We have really suffered. The time is now, my brothers and sisters. Let us wake up and unite this continent. Thank you for watching.
So Russia and China are friends of African countries because there is a wild cat. And that wild cat is eating our chicken. We'll deal with Russia when the wild cat is gone. That is the attitude of African countries. And I think that the engagement that we have, African countries have with Russia and China are a lot more respectful. Russia is not coming arrogantly like Europe and America does. China is not coming arrogantly like Europe and America do. But yet there is need for Africa to also define herself as we relate with these powers going forward.
In April 2024, General Langley made headlines when he said that China and Russia are undermining stability in Africa and should leave. Boom. Just like that. But his comments raised a lot of eyebrows, especially across African capitals. Why? Because China isn't new in Africa. They've built bridges in Mozambique, railways in Kenya, and even the headquarters of the African Union in Addis Ababa. Meanwhile, Russia's influence has mostly grown through arms deals, mining contracts, and Wagner Group mercenaries. Let's break it down. China began seriously investing in Africa in the late 1980s. By the 2000s, it had launched the Belt and Road Initiative, basically Beijing's Marshall Plan for the developing world. The goal? Secure raw materials, expand influence, and open markets for Chinese companies. As of 2023, China is Africa's largest trading partner. No other country has built more infrastructure across the continent, period. And here's the kicker. China doesn't tie its loans to political reforms, unlike the US or the IMF. That's a big deal for many African leaders. Now, Russia's approach? Totally different. It's not about roads. It's about regimes. Russia offers military support, weapons, and security services. The Wagner Group, a shadowy paramilitary outfit loyal to the Kremlin, has operated in Mali, the Central African Republic, Sudan, and more. In some African countries, they've replaced French troops and positioned themselves as anti-Western saviors. Russia gains influence, access to gold and uranium, and a political ally in the UN. But critics say they leave chaos in their wake. Here's where General Langley comes in. From the US perspective, China and Russia aren't just investing in Africa. They're changing the rules of the game. China's military base in Djibouti? Just miles from America's own. Russia funding coups and backing authoritarian regimes? That undermines democracy promotion. Let's be real. This isn't about saving Africa. It's about great power competition. Langley's comments weren't made in a vacuum. They're part of Washington's bigger play to reassert control and limit the rise of rivals. African leaders have mixed views. Some welcome Chinese and Russian support as alternatives to Western aid, which they see as tied up in lectures and conditions. Others are wary of debt traps, political meddling, or the fallout from Russian mercenaries. Langley's call for China and Russia to leave Africa is less about what they're doing and more about where they're doing it. Africa sits at the center of global trade routes, is home to key minerals for green tech, and has a population boom that makes it the next economic frontier. Control Africa's future, and you influence the global order. Langley knows that, and so does Beijing and the Kremlin. So the next time a U.S. general says China and Russia should leave Africa, ask why now. Is it about democracy or dominance, peace or power? Africa doesn't belong to anyone but Africans. And in the new great game, they might just be the ones holding the cards. If you found this video insightful, hit that like button, subscribe for more geopolitical breakdowns, and drop a comment. Whose influence is helping Africa more? The West, China, or Russia? Let's debate.